Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bevan's Bricks. Bear with me. I am trying to re-get the hang of everything, as it has been quite a while since I've done any of this. Trying to get my settings and all that stuff back in order and things of that nature, and also trying to remember how I did all the different settings and all that good stuff. What I'm noticing is everything that I saved, it totally erased. Gotta love that. So I am trying to reselect everything, and then I will come back to a screen where you guys can actually see, or I can actually see anyway, and talk to you guys. Because right now I can't see nothing. Um, and I don't get why they do all that stuff. It's funny, if I don't stream, actually, I might, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I need to not stream through Streamlabs, and then I could have all my settings constantly saved so I wouldn't have to go through the headache that I'm going through right now. Anyway, let me close this back out. Hopefully you can hear me. I made sure the mic wasn't muted. Apple, how you doing? Legends Builds, Brick Sargent, Kip Hoffman, Greg Bassett, Ty Levar. Uh, he says, "Hola, Master Brick or Brickmaster." Thank you, Ty. Um, thank you, Apple. Brian LeBlanc. Good evening. Bryce Bricks. Hello. Matt or Brooks Bricks. Trying to catch up on a few comments. Again, trying to get that back into the swing of things. I am still learning a lot of different stuff. So, and I don't have everything opened that I wanted. There we go. That'll make that life easier. But I am going to start trying to come back and do things a bit more often. One of the changes, I was going to use a headset, and I do have the headset, or actually, I might have put it back over there. Oh, nope, here it is. I do have a new headset. The thing is to me, the headset sounds very tinny. So I decided to just go ahead and use the standard mic. I'm going to have to see if I can't find something that sounds a little better. This does work. It's just this particular mic, like I said, it sounds horrible. Where this microphone is my favorite microphone as far as sounds and all that good stuff. One of the key things that I'm changing about my videos, and thank you, Apple. He says, I love your videos. Thank you, the Drifting Samurai. One of the key things, though, that I am actually changing about a lot of my streams and such is how I'm going to interact. And what I mean by that, that's why this particular video, I'm going to try and do more talking with you guys than I do anything. But what I do now is I have another private screen that my moderators can kind of poke me and tell me, hey, you're not paying attention to something. Everybody likes this, so let me light it up and really show you something while I'm on the subject of it. There we go. I have a lot of work to do on a lot of different floors. What I need to do is I got to find some minifigs that are going to be going in here. But another thing I did do is I put down a slowdown mode. I'm going to try it in 30 seconds for this particular stream just to see how it goes. And as long as it seems like that's okay, I'll keep it that way. If it seems like the comments start getting too big and too much, what I will end up doing is increasing the slowdown mode to 60 seconds. And I think I can increase it up to like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something like that. But for right now, because I know I'm just starting to stream again, and I know that a lot of people haven't seen me in a while, so there's not a lot of people that are logging in, so I didn't think it'd be too bad tonight. But I just wanted to explain some of the things that you can expect to see happening on a lot of the upcoming streams and why they're happening. It'll be because, quite frankly, the settings are going to be slowly implemented. We did a test yesterday where I was going to have my CIA group speak to me with the little headset like this, and because of the amount of delay that's actually in the stream, We all agreed that it was not beneficial for their viewing pleasure, and it also was not beneficial for my viewing pleasure because I could hear myself through the microphone. So we decided to ixnay on that particular thing and just go with the standard stream, and then, like I said, just change out some of the tags and things like that. Yes, my CIA group. Anyway, though, like I said, I'm hoping that everything works out good. I'm hoping everything stays in well, and just to let my moderators know that I can see their little chats in the room. I want to show Brian that I got his little hand signal, and everybody else telling me that I sound great. So, like I said, just verifying that you guys know that I can see that you are chatting, and I'm just another little way to let you know that I can see you chatting. One of the things I'm going to try and do tonight, and part of the problem I'm having is I need to find all my minifigs first, and I just realized when my lights fell. And say hello to my little friend. One of the things that I want to do, though, is I got to populate this, and this is the Avengers floor. This is the Captain America floor. And what I'm going to do is I want to try and create a minifig that looks like Captain America, with like just his ripped shirt or just pair of pants anyway, and his you know, his muscles and all that kind of stuff. And then I want to put some military personnel and some people in tuxedos up in the viewing room. I want to put a doctor down here, maybe another doctor over here, and then put somebody in kind of a suit and tie down there representing Tony Stark's father. Secret agent, man. So that's how I'm going to kind of populate that. Some of the other changes you can expect to see on this particular floor anyway is I still think I might add a few more details here, and then some other general details for the ceiling, because if you ever watched the movie, that particular scene, you can see different pipework kind of hanging down from the ceiling. So I want to make sure I try and include some of those types of details as well when I get to that point. But the next floor up, which is what I'm actually going to try and work on a little bit anyway, or mess around with a little bit tonight with my pigsty around me. Up here is going to be the Hall of Armor. And I've already kind of have an idea of what I want to do. I just have to kind of play around a little bit. I have to order some more lights, and the lights that I'm going to be ordering for that particular floor is going to be from Brick Loot, as I'm really fascinated with Brick Loot here lately, and I am just blown away by the amount and variety of actual lights and everything that they offer. So I'm going to do, as a matter of fact, just to point out, this floor was done with Brick Loot. These two floors are my personal custom stuff, and they were also Blinky bricks, but this floor is Brick Loot, and this floor is going to be illuminated with Brick Loot. And it's just, again, it's quite simply because they have a huge selection of lights. And hey, how you doing? Awesome Lego builder, glad to see you. Anyway, let me pick up a few of the items that I have kind of around me, because I do not need everything that I have sitting in front of me at the moment. So I'm going to put some of these drawers away. My problem is I've went and gotten spoiled of not being on camera, so my build area is quite the disaster. I will be the first to admit that. But like I said, for me to move forward, I need to clean up a little. Something I would actually like to do is Brick Loot sent me a Lego set. Actually, they sent me 3 Lego sets. And I think I'm going to build some of those. And hey, luckiest loser, how you doing? And how you doing, Mike McDonough? I think what I'm going to try and do is, if I can get some of this cleared up in future live streams anyway, what I want to do is I want to try and build some of those Brick Loot sets just so I can kind of show you the quality and so on. And what I will also do after that is I will make videos and kind of explain it for those people that are not able to catch the live streams. I am doing great, and thank you so much for asking. Yeah, no doubt. Where is Paul Bot? I haven't seen him in 2 days. Which I do know Paul Bot has a new job, so that might restrict his time a little more, so we might not be seeing Paul Bot as much. And Scotty, my man, how are you doing? Just don't say his name 3 times. Paulbot, Paulbot, Paulbot. Well, like I said, I'm actually surprised he's not here, but I do know that he did. Like I said, he did get a new job, so uh, might not see him around as much. And hey, how you doing, Anthony? Thank you so much for signing in. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. I am just trying to pick up my mess a little bit so I don't damage everything. Because when I was building these 2 floors, I just kind of flung everything everywhere in my normal fashion. So I'm trying to pick up some of my bins so I can actually do something. And yeah, you know what? I totally forgot. I should have put that in the actual stream heading, is that it is a hump day. You're absolutely correct. This stream is still kind of a test in my opinion. It's just a public test. No, I didn't hire him to clean my barn. If I hired him to clean my barn, he'd probably clean me out. And hey, how you doing, Ned? It almost would be nice to have a maid that I could actually have come in here and clean. The problem is they would have to know what piece goes where and all that good stuff, because I would lose everything. And Nightwolf 17, how the heck are you, buddy? I hope you're doing well, and yes, glad to see you. And I'm sure if Alec catches this stream, he will be happy to see you as well. And Rob says, is that the way of the AFOL? Everything everywhere? Personally, that's how I flow, how I run anyway. I've always been kind of a slob when I'm building. I like to pick it up, don't get me wrong, because I do prefer a clean workspace. But typically as I'm building, I'm trying to get the idea, I'm trying to get the flow, so I just go for it, and whatever stuff falls on the table, it's just kind of like, screw it, whatever, let it fall. And Sean says his build space looks like an explosion. And I am just trying to remember. Just to show you something, because somebody had asked me this. As far as, like with the Captain America, you can see it's kind of a clear or translucent tube with blue in it. And somebody asked me what the heck part that is. They also make it with yellow. And I could have swore I had some with pink, and I cannot find them. But they made those for a couple years, but I don't think they've made these in about 5 years, for anybody that was curious about those particular things. Am I going to put minifigs breaking a fax machine? No. I kind of already, the office space is basically finished on this particular build. So I should have put a fax machine in there. I should have put a copying machine in there. I totally was not thinking about it, though. Let me put these away. But that probably would have been something funny to do. On this floor up here, when I do the Hall of Armor, what I'm going to be doing is putting in... What did I have this built for? I don't need it anymore. I ripped it apart. That's right. What I'm going to be probably doing is using the original sets that I have and just modifying them a little bit, because I am going to be running a slew of wires through those, as my intention is to light up every aspect of this. Especially now that I've found Brick Loot, because I am extremely impressed with their lights. I'm going to actually go crazy, because they have a large variety of different colored lights. And you know what? I see everybody's happy to see I'm back, and thank you guys. I appreciate that. And like I said, bear with me, because it has been a while, so I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, so to speak, as well. I'm trying to remember who it was that asked me. Somebody had asked me I can't remember if it was Scott's Black. No, it was Lego Homes. Is Lego Homes in the live stream? And I'm doing great, Lego Builder. Thanks for asking. Reason I'm asking if Lego Homes is in the live stream is I wanted to show him the blue LED lights that Brickloot sells, because he was asking me what I thought he should use, because he wanted to, well, I don't know if he wants me to talk about what he's planning on building or not. So I'm going to shut up there. I don't know if it's a secret on his channel or what it is. Varen, I am doing great. Thank you so much for asking. And no Lego Homes. You know what? It's because I know he's kind of different too, as far as his timetables. And actually, I'm surprised because Paul said he was going to try and make it this afternoon. Paul Roos, Judge Dredd, for those of you that don't know him. And I haven't seen him yet either, actually. And while we're all talking, I have a quick question to ask, because this was always my little sig fig from the past. I'm wondering if I should just keep him, or I thought about modifying him, modernizing him, I guess would be a good way to put it. And the reason that I was thinking that is because I have a lot more gray hair now, especially in my face, and I was thinking about modernizing him. But that is my sig fig, and you can actually see him sitting at the desk right here. I figured I would go ahead and put him in there. And yo, Papa's Bricks, how you doing, my friend? But I felt like it wasn't a good representation of me anymore, is what it is. Even though I have a ton of parts to make him. I know I have a bunch. I think I can make about 12 of them. But I was kind of curious what your guys' thoughts were. And thank you, Ben Burgess. I hope I didn't butcher your name too badly. For those of you that follow me on a regular basis, everybody already knows that even though English is my only language, it is a very poorly spoken language, and I am horrible at enunciations. But thank you so much for your following and support and watching my videos, and welcome to the channel, Ben. And that was the problem, because like Sean just said he needs glasses. That was something that really bugged me, because I couldn't find, at least I couldn't find, and I mean, they make so many different minifig heads, and I am going to walk off screen for just a minute to put some of this stuff away, but they make so many different minifig heads. I never saw a minifig that had a goatee and glasses. It was always just a goatee with no glasses, or glasses and no goatee. And because which actually right now, I should just make a figure where I got stubble, because 90% of the time that is what I have, is stubble on my face. But that was why when I originally created him, though, he didn't have glasses, because now keep in mind, I made my sig fig about 4 years ago. So maybe they make that head now. I haven't seen it, though, so I could be wrong. And Papa's Brick says he'd stick with the one I have, and Greg agrees. I did butcher it. I'm sorry, Ben. Burgess. I'm going to try it one last time. Ben Burgess. And then, like I said, I'm going to quit with that, because I know, like I said, I know I butcher names pretty badly. I am horrible at enunciations. What did I am trying to get some of this stuff together. Trying to make it to where I can make a trip over there and kind of get as much put away as possible without having to constantly come back and forth. And I have so much different crap. I almost wonder, with all the stuff I have scattered all over my table, if I shouldn't show you guys some techniques. And let's do that. Somebody had asked me the other day, I made a video and I had a brick haul, a Lego haul. Actually, it was probably about a week ago. And I said there's a lot of really cool uses for the minifig piece. This is the minifig plate that you would get when you buy minifigs, the CMFs. They always come with this little stand. And one of the suggestions I was trying to explain to him, and just so if anybody else can see that, is they make a really unique looking stair. But you can also put these on a pitch and stagger them around, and you can use these for a roof on a building too. So that's two really good uses for those. As a matter of fact, the reason those are actually put together the way they are is I was originally going to use that stair for inside of the Avengers Tower, and then I ended up deciding I wanted to go with my more mechanical look because it's more of an industrial floor, and I went with the industrial look instead. What do I think about the Lego Ideas typewriter? And I agree with what Anthony Perot just said. I think it's a cool looking set. I personally think it's overpriced. It is very interesting though. But and here's kind of here. Let me put this stuff away, and I'm gonna get on that subject. As far as the typewriter goes, here's kind of my thoughts, and it's not just the typewriter. It's a lot of the adult sets that they are coming out with. I feel like they're overthinking it. Here's what I mean by I think they're overthinking it. I personally feel like because they're trying to make the line that's 18, 18 plus. I feel like they think that everybody in our age category, the only thing we want to see is like so far, you've got a piano, you've got a typewriter. The Nintendo game system was actually geared towards adults. I feel like, personally anyway, that they're trying to kind of stick with the 70s and the 80s. They're trying to, and don't get me wrong, I get it. There is an appeal to it, but for me personally anyway, it's not, because even the piano is something I didn't buy. I don't feel like they're really getting the adult crowd. To me, if you want to get the adult crowd really interested and you want to build big expensive sets, because that's how I feel about the piano and the typewriter both. And don't get me wrong, they're beautifully designed. They look beautiful. They are really nice looking Lego sets. But they're not something, even the Nintendo one, none of them are something that I want to build out of Lego and leave together. My focus, though, and everybody's opinion is different, so don't get me wrong, my focus is on city building. And also I love Star Wars and things like that. So if you're going to make an adult-sized Lego set that's going to draw me in, make an immaculate-looking building. Make an actual skyscraper, not the Daily Bugle. The Daily Bugle was kind of a good attempt for kind of the... To me, the Daily Bugle's kind of adult, but it's kind of still kid. But it was really a poor attempt still. But for the price, it's not a bad set, don't get me wrong, because I did buy two of it. I think it's a cool looking set. But if they're going to try and rope in adults to do really cool builds, to me, a typewriter's not going to do it. A piano's not going to do it. The Nintendo 64 is not going to do it. Like some of the Lego Ideas that were recently approved, and I don't know if they're out yet or not, but they had like the globe. The World Globe was a set that's supposed to be coming out. Stratocaster guitar was supposed to be coming out. That's not what appeals to me. I want to see what appeals to me. I want to see city buildings. I want to see some amazing architecture. I want to see, they did a phenomenal job with the Millennium Falcon. The only reason I won't get that is it's so huge, and I already have my personal favorite, which is my Hasbro huge Millennium Falcon. I still might buy it. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it, but I know it's not going anywhere. But to me, that's the kind of stuff that they need to do to grab onto the adult market. And actually, no, you're right. $200 for a 2,000 piece set really is not a bad deal. And again, like Sean has just mentioned, the Adidas set. And dude, you're my hero. I am so glad that's going to stay in there. I actually like that, Brian. Holy crap. You know what? Just to show you guys something, I want to show you what Brian just found me. I just want to show you guys kind of what's behind the scenes. Just a really quick clip. just so you can see, because I do have several different screens going, and I want to show you one of my screens that's going. Anyway, I wanted to show you that because I really like this as a minifig head. It's not like a total goatee, but at the same time it's funny because these two little spots right here, I actually have a hard time growing hair there, and a lot of that's because of my Indian heritage. I have a lot of hard times growing hair on a lot of parts of my faces, but I like that because you got the glasses, it looks like a goatee. I just need to find some good hair. I really, really do like that. But I just wanted to show you guys kind of a behind-the-scenes peek at my Discord group. For anybody that's interested in becoming a member, that's some of the stuff that you can see in my Discord group. The Adidas, I totally agree. I think they're garbage. That's what I mean by Lego to me is going in the wrong direction. With a lot of stuff like that, it's the wrong direction. I do believe, though, that because there are people out there that love it. Don't get me wrong. So, I mean, maybe they are onto something. Maybe they know something that we don't. But it's just not my taste, is what it boils down to. Because the Adidas is not something that I'm willing to buy. It's not something I'm interested in. It doesn't appeal to me at all. I think it's cool. I had the white Adidas tennis shoes when I was growing up back in the 80s. And, I mean, they were cool, but I don't want a Lego set made out of them. And thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate that. Oh, you're talking about the other one that, yes. I think Brian picked that. I think that might be my new minifig head. I really like that. And then it'd be flesh tone instead of being yellow, too, which makes it even better, I think. But I agree with Anthony. The Adidas, the only thing to me it's good for is parts. And here's the thing. Here's the only part, because really every part on that Adidas shoe is parts that are already available. Here's the only part that I really want off that Adidas shoe. It's the front piece. It's the little half round piece. I can show you. Mind you, I don't have the actual Adidas set, but this is the piece that I would be interested in, because in that Adidas set they have this, and then it has little lines in it. And to me, that particular piece, if you can get it with the lines, would make a great canopy for a building. And that's the only reason I like that set, but I don't like it enough that I want to buy that set just for that piece because of the lines. I might try and find it on, we'll say, Bricklink or something like that at a later date, or I might even try and see if I can't just pick that part up on Lego Bricks and Pieces and get a couple of them, because again, I do believe that would be an awesome part for mocking up buildings. But to buy that whole set just for that one part, it's a big no for me. Nightwolf says they need to make a 70s Oldsmobile Cutlass, and I agree, those were cool cars. Actually, though, if they're going to make something, Nightwolf, I think I would rather see a 442 Oldsmobile. I think that would be freaking awesome. Which they used in the 80s. They used, if I remember correctly anyway, the Cutlass body for the 442 Olds. I meant to do some of this cleaning before I ever went live so I could have done other important things, but we were having more vehicle problems here at home, so I was screwing around with the truck. Because I got my truck back on Monday, ran great, now it's got a misfire, and I need to try and figure out which one it is. I got to play with it some more, but it's at least, because I got the truck back, it had to have the timing chain replaced, but that was a job I was not wanting to tackle. But at least it's still running. It's got a slight misfire is the only issue that I see with it. So I figure this weekend I will actually pay more attention to it and give it a good work over. But that's what kind of deterred me from getting a lot of the things that I actually wanted to get done for the stream. Was trying to mess around with that and figure out why the heck it's acting like the piece of crap that it wants to be. It's old too, though, so I have to keep that in mind when I look at my truck. It's old and beat up. It's old. Technically, in car years, it's older than me, so it's pretty old and beat up. Grand Nationals, those were bad. Yes, those were freaking awesome, Sean. I totally agree with you. I actually had a Grand National, and That was like the car to have. The one that I had was an 86, 80. God, I don't remember the year now. Mine was blue though, but I loved the Grand Nationals. Those were awesome cars. 60s cars would be awesome. I agree with you, Raymond. A mall modular would be an awesome. See, now that's what I mean. What you were just saying, Matt. I personally feel that that would be the kind of building that Lego could go ahead and build, smack a $400 or $500 price tag on it, and then us adults would want to jump on it. Not pianos and typewriters, and just because we're old doesn't mean we want to see everything from when we were younger. We don't want to. Just because we're archaic doesn't mean we want to have archaic looking sets. We still want to have, and thank you, my little friend finally shut up. At least that's how I look at it anyway. But that's just my thoughts. Like I said, me personally, not a big fan. It's definitely not a set that I will be purchasing, and I have no intention on it unless I can find it like on a half off deal. I almost feel like, and again, this is just kind of my personal thoughts, personal opinion. I almost feel like with the amount of really huge sets that Lego is coming out with, I almost feel like they're putting themselves in a bad spot. And what I mean by that, I think that they're going to be stocking up and building all these sets that they think people probably want, but we really don't want. And before you know it, you're going to start seeing them 30, 40, and 50% off. 67 Mustang. Those are nice, Papa's Bricks. Was it a V8 or a V6? 69 Chevelle, that's another really bad toy. Yes, I agree with you. I love Chevelles. A museum modular is another great idea, and Brian was saying the mall idea is cool. Would also be neat if he could see the shell, then buy expansion stores and add-ons. That would be interesting. It'd be a really good marketing ploy. And Anthony says, as a pianist, he wanted the grand piano. See, now I do see, when we're talking about the piano, I can see the allure of some of the items. Because for people that play guitar and are still heavy into guitar, which I used to play guitar, somebody that's really heavy into guitar, Whiskey Shred, if he's here, and he's probably not, but he's one of the people that's normally in my live streams, and I could see him definitely wanting the guitar. He plays guitar all the time, so I can see where some sets would have an allure to certain people just because of their background. But for the general populace, I don't see it. And hey, John McKinley, how you doing, my friend? I hope you are feeling better. I know you're still recovering from your surgery. I do like the looks of the new Speed Champions, but my problem with those is quite simply this. They're too wide. I love how they look, but to use them in a Lego city, I feel like they're too big. And because I honestly, the ones that I have bought, and I know Paul Bot actually was quite upset about it, because here's one of the ones that I bought, but I bought it to strip it off of parts. So I bought, I kind of stole it so I could strip it. I got a deal on it. Like I said, I actually got a deal on that one, and that's why I bought it, because I only bought it for the parts. I didn't buy it I went ahead and built it before I started robbing all the parts off of it, but I personally will not use that in my city, just because, in my opinion, it's too big. But again, that's just kind of my feelings, my opinion. Apple says his favorite post, Sean, so modular hospital would be nice, and I think that they'll do that at some point. They'll make a modular hospital. Well, they have made hospitals in the past, but I think they're going to make an actual modular one here at some point in the future. And let me put these parts away. That's something else I desperately need to do, is get all the garbage I have on the floor. What is up, Robbie Dobbles? I have not seen you in a while. I hope you're doing good, my friend. A 1999 official Shell gas station set. That sounds awesome, Paul. And yes, there are a lot of people that do hospital mocks. I totally agree with you, Kevin. I actually started to do one myself, but I got bored with it. I ripped it apart when I know you can't tell, but when I cleaned the barn. Although it's definitely not clean right now. It'll get back there here in a few moments, though. It's just, this is all the leftovers from all the playing around I've been doing, plus all the soldering I've been doing. And I am trying to scoop up a lot of this. This is my little soldering board that I solder on. But that's why this is such a pigsty. And I got wire and stuff sitting everywhere, and jumpers, but as I was building, I was just kind of throwing it together, throwing it to the side, and then I would just kind of shove it over so I could solder a little bit, because I don't want the solder to get near my plastic, because that'll melt my plastic. Dips Bricks, how the heck are you, my friend? I hope you're doing well. And I'm hoping to start streaming a little more often here, so I probably won't stream again after tonight until probably, I'm going to say, Friday night, as I'm still trying to get some things back in order and some other stuff. But I do want to start slowly trying to ramp things back up, so hopefully you will see me on here a bit more often than you have over the last month or so, because I know I took quite a bit of a leave of absence, if you will. But don't forget, because I still try to get into Discord every day, Dips Bricks. So if you ever want to say hi or yay or yell at me, just get into Discord. And thank you so much for the plug, Scott. I'm trying to catch up on comments. Good evening to you, Steve. How the heck are you, my friend? And thank you, Paul S. He says, my tower is beautiful, and thank you so much. And it still has a long way to go. And like I said, that's why I'm trying to pick up right now so I can get back to work on it. But I feel like if I don't pick some of this up, it's just going to stay in my way. Most of the parts that are actually sitting in my way at this current moment in time were from the Steve Rogers floor. Because I kept trial and error and trial and error and trial and error on a lot of different things until I got it right. I actually made 4 different versions of the chamber before I finally settled on that particular version. Because every time I built it, I would find something I didn't like about it, and then I would go back and do it again. So it gives you an idea of my insanity, if you will. And my biggest issue with it was, once I finally got to the point where it's at now, is I didn't like the color. So I ended up ripping everything that I had apart and put it back together, because I wanted, to me, because that particular scene, it's the chamber was more of a sand green, so I thought that was kind of an important factor to do. Actually, as far as stickers go, I haven't even opened my printer yet, but I do intend on making some stickers hopefully fairly soon. And John says good night, Apple, so Apple must be logging off. So good night to you, Apple. Thank you so much for signing in. I'm so sorry to hear that, Steve. I'm very sorry to hear that. All I can say is my condolences go to you. And yes, while you're bringing it up, Greg, absolutely. Absolutely. My Rebrickable page, something I do want to point out, because, and let me put these pieces away. and I was trying to remember what the heck I was going to talk about. I remember reading the question, then I walked away. Olive would work for the chamber, yes, but I don't think they have as many options in olive. I could be wrong, but I just, let me put it this way. I don't own very much olive, so sand green was my next best option. And even with the sand green, I was kind of limited as to what I could do because I originally liked a different design that I had better, but I didn't have it in sand green parts. The best design I had, I made it out of white parts because I have an abundance of white. And like the back side of it was using these little sloped pieces, so it was more rounded on the whole, all four sides. Like I said though, sadly I don't have any of that stuff in sand green. Run, it's Mike. And let me get this put away. I'm slowly getting down to the table. And keep in mind, this is still basically a live test of some of the changes I'm trying to make. And I'm already seeing where I'm going to have to do a few more little tweaks. Because stuff isn't doing what I thought it would do, but I will correct that in another stream. This is just a good learning curve for me to get back in the saddle, so to speak. How I'm looking at it anyway. I think he's actually saying you're everybody's worst nightmare, Mike. That's kind of what I'm picking up anyway. That's what I think he's laying down. Thank you. What I was going to say is about Rebrickable, because I had a lot of people, and let me put these away. I had a lot of people asking me questions about different sets here lately, if I would make instructions available, when I would make them available, and things of that nature. And one of the sets, and I'm trying to, because I could have swore I had it handy. I see it. Give me 1 second to walk across the room. One of the builds that I'd had a lot of people ask me about was this guy right here, and it's probably hard to see him. This was a power tower that I made for my city. Well, as of today, the instructions for this power tower went up on my Rebrickable page, and that's what I wanted to bring up when Greg had mentioned my Rebrickable. So if you're one of the many people that was extremely interested in this power tower, that is now available for sale on my Rebrickable page, as well as there's been several things. These cubicles that are in my Avengers tower, those are also available for sale on my Rebrickable page. And if I remember correctly, I only listed those for 99 cents or something like that, so they're really reasonable. It's just to kind of help me get along with the channel and to get more support is all it's really about. I forgot what I listed this for, but this is available now. And like I said, this was something that a lot of people were asking me if I was ever going to build or ever going to do. So it's available and it's up. And I see Papa's Brick says that he actually built my cell tower, and I was wondering how you liked that. It's a bit of a fiddly build, I will say that. No, we all poke fun at each other. We like to mess with each other. And Scott says, no, it's the Tower of Power. It's just, I remember somebody saying or calling or telling me or saying that they thought it was the Power Tower, so, or the whatever the heck it was I said the first time. Now I got your thoughts in my head. But That, like I said, this is one of those builds, though, that I had been getting asked a lot. Something else I keep seeing questions or comments about, and I don't know if I'll ever even get to that particular building, because that building's kind of insane. But the building that I'm referring to is my parking garage. But it's a really simple build, and it's like I've told the few different people that have actually asked me about it. I do have a how-to guide, is what I call it, on my Rebrickable page, or not on my on my YouTube page, but I don't have it step-by-step instructions for it. I just show you how you can actually accomplish it and get to it by showing you the technique that I'm using to do it. Oh, Mike's built the highway sign and the cell tower. Awesome, Mike. Something else, though. What are AirBods? I've never heard of that. Yes, the Discord group is the Funny Farm. I absolutely agree with you, my friend. And let me get a few more. I don't mind sorting, but when I get down to these little pieces like this is when it gets annoying. But I want to show you something since I've got a bunch of different parts over here. Let me put these things in my hand away. And I'm actually going to make a video on what I'm showing you guys right now also. But I just want to show people something. As far as, because now that I bought them and I've been playing with them, these little plug pieces, now that I have them and I've been playing with them, and that was something else I was going to do, is I wanted to show Lego Homes, but he's not on. The intensity of, because that's something I learned about Brick Loot, is if it's in a blue container like that or a blue brick, the lights are blue, which I think is really freaking cool. So it color codes them without them actually being color coded. And let me just show you what I mean. And yes, I'm getting a little distracted, but I'm going to show you another trick too. But man, is that ever some bright blue or what? I love these lights. But anyway, the thing I was going to show you, as a lot of you have asked me, and let me find one so if I mess up, I don't hurt it, but hold on. Hey, Diego. With these little white plugs, and I'm hoping you can see that. That's the JST 1.2 millimeter, 1.25 millimeter plugs. I know a lot of people already know. I mean, you can get it through here, but you have to trim the corners off if you just want to slide that through. And if you want it to slide through anything smaller than that, it's just not going to happen. But I do want to show everybody a little trick. These plugs are not soldered together or anything like that. So if you're like me and you're really big into wanting to if you're really big into wanting to hide your wire, and I'm going to have to take my glasses off to kind of show you. These little clips, I got to put my glasses on so I can make sure that it's getting in the camera. These little plugs, if you look right here, you'll see these two little metal tits. And those little metal tits is what holds it in against this piece of plastic. And the thing is if you take, and I'm hoping, and this is why I want to make a video to show you guys this. If you take a little pin piece like I got here, and now this is where I have to take my glasses off, and then you just put it under there, and say hello to my little friend, you can pull that little pin piece out. So now you just took what was, and I'm trying to get it to focus again. And I am going to make a video about this so it makes more sense and it's actually more easily visible. But now you just have that little piece that you can slide through a brick. And then once you get it through with your little plug here, you just take that wire. And this is where I got to take my glasses off again. You make sure the tit is up, and then you take it and you slide it in the hole. I know it sounds like we're having sex ed instead of talking about electrical, but you slide it back in the hole, and then there you have your plug back again. And then that way you can actually take these little plugs and you can use them, hide them, slide them through the smallest of little holes. And it's something I wanted to kind of share with people. And because I know a lot of people ask questions about those, and what do I think about the JST connectors or the plug-ins that are on these. And that's just a little trick you can do if you ever wanted to. And yes, I do have I have a couple Spider-Mans. I had a bunch of different superheroes over here because I've been playing around trying to figure out which accessories and which ones I wanted to use in the building, and say hello to my little friend. But that is a quick way, though, just so people can see. And like I said, I will be making a video so I can actually zoom the camera in and you can actually physically watch me do it, so it makes more sense. It's hard for me to get this camera to focus real well. It's a little fidgety. But that is a way that you can still use them JST connectors, because to me, I kind of prefer them. With me getting older, it's getting harder for me to see really tiny things, so I really actually like these because they're easier for me to fiddle and feel to get together. And with those, I just wanted to show you that you can still get them in a tight spot. You just got to pop the little pin out, you put the pin back in, and then you can put the plugs back on. Easy Craftsman says, I think I know why you love electrical so much. You know, there's a lot of different things, and this is something I actually, you know what, hell with it, because it's like I told all my members before, I'm going to start doing a little bit more of Bevan's Bricks Unplugged, so to speak, when I do my live streams. We're talking about electrical now, though. Keep this in mind. But that's a series of videos I've actually been wanting to make on my electrical channel, is some of the screwed up terminology that you will hear in trades. Not just electrical, in all trades. I'll give you, actually I don't have the example to show you exactly what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to use that word just yet. But very common words are like a nipple or a tit, and a tit is a little bump that's off the side of something. A nipple is a couple things. A nipple is, it's a short piece of pipe, in that you have a fully threaded nipple, or a running nipple is what they call them. And then you also have an open nipple, or a chase nipple, or a closed nipple. But those are all terms they use for describing a different size pipes. And generally a nipple will be no bigger than around 6 inches. But like I said, since we're talking, but those are some of the videos I intended on making on my other channel. I just have not gotten around to them yet. But like I said, it's some of the crazy things that you'll hear in trades, and then you'll probably think that people are talking dirty, and they're really not. They are just actually talking in terms of trades. That's the way most of us were brought up. I know nowadays a lot of that stuff is they're trying to make it to where it's more friendly. but though, yes, and the male and female plugs, of course. Take care, Nightwolf, or is it Greg that's leaving? Yes, it is Nightwolf. Take care, Nightwolf. We will see you later, my friend. I hope you have a good night. And see right there, Scott. Scott's a tradesman also, though, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about nipples. Or are you saying that you actually chase nipples? And hey, Brick Sergeant, how you doing? Thank you so much, buddy, for the $5 donation. That is awesome of you. He said, keep going up, Daryl, and make it shine bright. And thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. I actually got to make some more orders, though, as far as lighting, to do what I want to do with that building. But we are going to illuminate. And that's something I did want to show everybody else, too. T-birds are awesome, too. His favorite bird is the titmouse. That's an actual bird, though, Steve. But anyway, let me come back here just to show you something, because I know a lot of people, when I was originally building this building, a lot of people felt that the building was actually quite weak. And it's one thing that I always tried to explain to people is it does seem weak in its current structure and phase. But once I'm done with it, it will not be weak anymore. And here's what I mean, because before, if I tapped on it, that whole building would start to shift back and forth a little bit. And now I'm pulling on that and I am shaking my whole table. I'm not just shaking the building. And as I get each floor installed, this thing is going to be so rigid it's not even funny. Now, it's heavy, so I can't pick it up, throw it, and catch it like I've showed you guys, for example, with the Jason Vincent Tower. But what's really strengthening this building so much is, number one, the floors, because the floors are locking. And thank you so much, Scott's Blocks. He just donated $5. Well, we all do a little titty chasing. And thank you so much for the $5 donation, buddy. I really appreciate that. But the thing that I was going to say is an excellent job. I just wanted to make sure you guys know in the moderator chat that you're doing an excellent job with the notifications and letting me know stuff too. So thank you so much for doing that. And Ned, thank you so much. Ned just did $5 storm too. We're getting a thunderstorm going here, guys. But the thing I was going to say though is because originally when I built this, it's just one big empty cavity, and that's why there was so much flex to the building and all that. And I'm trying to shake it, but like I said, now it stays together. But a lot of that has been been reinforced now by me connecting the walls together with the flooring. And then also, as you can see, looking down the center, that entire elevator shaft is built with 2x4 blocks. And I'm going to be doing that all the way up, just to show you, because I have a very large bag of white 2x4 blocks. And that's all they're for, is to, number one, help lock the floor together, and number two, help add rigidity to the building, but also give me a pipe chase to hide all my wiring in. So it's serving a multitude of reasons, and this building is really, like I said, it's really getting strong now. I'm really a lot happier with it, because at first I kind of agreed with a lot of the people that were noting that it's kind of flimsy, and I kept thinking, man, I know that I can strengthen it, and I just kept trying to figure out how. And now Matt's jumping in on the fray, and thank you so much, Matt. he says why not? He just threw $5 in there as well. So that equals 20 now, Apple. And thank you so much. I appreciate that, Matt. But when I'm finally all the way up though, because I'm going to run the floor all the way up into the bottom of this, and once I do that, I really think this building is going to be insanely stiff. It's going to be a stiffy. Again, with my friendlier chats. And you know what? I probably should have made sure that I told everybody for the moderators my new rules, and how we're going to try and start being a little less stringent and more flexible and open. So, and definitely noise. It's noise. And I was trying to see if I missed anybody else's comments. Mike was saying, you can't buy any more light at Brick Loot. That's my store. And I bought them all out when I saw you found them. And I call BS. But I guess it's possible, because I noticed that there is a few things that are out of stock. So I shouldn't say total BS. You probably were buying it up. And Anthony Perot, thank you so much. Anthony Perot just donated $9.99, and that was very kind of you, Anthony. Thank you so much. That is awesome. And Brick Sergeant, thank you so much for the $2, because yes, you did absolutely get a storm started, my friend. At least it sure looks that way. It's raining cats and dogs. I'm trying to keep my mind out of the gutter. Varen says, if there's one thing that people watching this stream and Bevins will agree, is that Lego is not one hobby, it's a multitude of hobbies. Yes, addiction and expensive. Absolutely, my friend. I don't think anybody would ever disagree with you. It's funny because I used to be heavy into cars. And I know there's a few other people in here, because we were talking about it earlier, that are heavy into cars as well, because we were talking about cutlasses and all that good stuff. But the point that I was going to make is, I thought cars were an expensive hobby. But the more that I've dug into the Lego hobby, I honestly think that Lego is a more expensive hobby than cars. Here's the problem with cars. I don't... oh, do you mean Papa's Bricks is asking if the membership link is up? There should be once you join anyway. I didn't link one to the thing, and I'm sure one of my moderators can find that link for you and post it if they notice it. Oh, that's weird, Anthony. I've heard other people say that as well, as far as the donations being odd like that. And thank you so much, Dale. That's awesome of you for that $4.99 donation. He says, glad to see you live streaming again and again. Thank you so much. That was awesome of you, my friend. Back to what Papa's Bricks was asking, though, about the link to join. There is a new, if you join, I have the newest Discord links posted for members only in my community tabs. but I didn't have. I totally forgot, and I didn't post the link. But I'm sure Ned or somebody, Mike or Kevin or Matt, anybody could probably find the link if you're interested in joining. And Papa's Brick says I have a Jeep Wrangler, and I've always wanted to get a Jeep Wrangler. That's like one of my always wanted to find and buy vehicles, and I may do it this year. I don't know. I'm really torn though, because I'm wondering how many people in here have seen, and I'm torn about it, but the new Ford Bronco. I love it because it looks like the old Ford Bronco. I was always a huge Ford Bronco fan. And when I say the old Ford Bronco, I'm talking about the one from the 60s and 70s, even for that matter. But here's where I'm torn about it. I am all about, when it comes to cars and things, there's no replacement for displacement. And yeah, you can put turbos on it and blowers and God knows what else, but I don't know, man. A full-size truck, which is what the Bronco is supposed to be, and it's got a frame underneath it, and it's a twin-turbo four-cylinder. It's just the whole twin. And thank you so much, Greg. He said mod swarm. Greg Bassett just donated $5 as well, and thank you so much, friend. I really appreciate it. But like I said, with the Bronco, it I want it, but I'm scared. And the reason that I say I'm scared, and a lot of it is because I am old school, older, whatever you want to say it. I'm an old fart. I'm a dinosaur. But like I said, the way I was raised is, and that was the rule of thumb. There's no replacement for displacement. And what I mean by that is the bigger the engine, the more torque, the more horsepower, and all that good stuff. So that is where my problem lies with it. I love the body. I love how it looks. I think they did an awesome job designing it. It's the whole twin turbo four-cylinder. It puts me off. You know what I mean? That's about the best way I can explain it. It kind of puts me off, and it makes me leery of it. And then the other fact of the matter, that it is a first-year run car, makes me a little leery as well. Steven says he had an 84 Bronco and he loved it, but it hated winter. Well, if you didn't have the four-wheel drive, because I would only get one of those if I had four-wheel drive. It's the only way I would get a Bronco, is if it was four-wheel drive. And an old school Wrangler with a Jurassic Park Jeep look would look freaking awesome, Scott. I definitely agree with you there. And I'm not sure who you're talking about, Apple, as far as my birthday, because my birthday's not till next year. Ned C, hate to say it, I'm a Ford guy, but Jeep would get my cash. And that's kind of where I'm at, Ned. I agree with you. Don't get me wrong, because Jeep also only offered, well, I shouldn't say only. They have a four-cylinder in the Jeeps, and they also have a six. Now, a four-cylinder Jeep to me is an absolute dog. There's no reason to get a four-cylinder Jeep. And I really wish they would have never gotten rid of the old inline six-cylinder Jeep motors, because those engines were just freaking bulletproof. I had one that I had 350,000 miles on. I'm talking the old 60s, 70s, 80s inline six-cylinder that they used to put in the Jeeps. And those motors were just freaking unbelievable workhorses. It really bummed me out when they actually got rid of them. But I hear that the new motor is actually pretty dependable as well, although I personally have never owned one. Like I said, I have owned the older one, but I've never had the new one. But mind you, the one that I had was a Jeep Cherokee. I didn't have a Wrangler. Wrangler is my want-to-have car. And I am with you, Ned, because I'm a Ford guy too. I even get A-Plan, so that's part of the reason why I am a Ford guy. But like I said, I'm really torn because I love the body, but I'm just not thrilled about that whole turbo four-cylinder. Oh, well, yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right, Steven, because back then everything had the old chokes and all that. So that, yeah, I can see where that would be an issue as well with it stalling and all that. So absolutely, my friend. And then Scott is being banned from the chat because Scott is he's a Mopar guy, and we're gonna throw Mopar out the window. I'm kidding. My wife actually has a Chrysler 300. They make some absolutely awesome cars as well. 4.0, there you go. Thank you, Dale. It's the 4.0 liter inline six-cylinder. Though, like I said, those motors were, and I still to this day do not understand why they got rid of them. It's like, what the hell were you thinking? One of the best engines ever made. I mean, 60s and 70s and 80s, and you can get 300,000 miles out of these motors. Mind you, the car around it would rot apart before the engine would fall apart, but you could get 300,000 miles out of those engines without even blinking. And why they quit making them, I'm still absolutely baffled. And I do agree with you, Greg. I wish they would have kept the old Ranger. They did bring back the new one, but to me it looks like a piece of crap. It's not something I'm interested in, especially at the price range that they're asking. Let me throw some of this stuff away. Not literally throw it away, put it away, but but I am with you. I'm not sure what the cubic inch on the 4.6 is either, Kevin. But I tell you what, because I had an old, it was a '97 Ford E150 Econoline van. I got rid of it because it started to rot apart. But I had that vehicle. Well, it was before my kids were born. We bought it, and I had that all the way up until 5 years ago. So I had it for 20 years. And that had the 4.6 liter 8-cylinder in it. And I tell you what, that was one of the most dependable engines I ever had from Ford. Right now I have the 2005 Ford F-150 with the dual overhead cam and the 3-valve head. It's the piece of crap that they like to call the 5.4 cylinder that they stopped making. And that's part of the reason why I'm always having problems with that, because that was just that was one huge mistake that Ford made. That thing, that engine is just a total piece of you-know-what. And I don't know why I keep farting with it and keeping it running, but I do. But I have 225,000 miles on my Ford truck too, though. And that's the 5.4. But again, like I said, that was not a good motor for Ford to make. And then Kevin was saying the 225 slant 6, you remember those? And I don't remember that number, the 225. I thought it was 255. I do remember a smaller 2 something, or was it a 305? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. 305. That was a good motor that was a Chevy motor though. And then Dale was saying old school Mopar all the way. I love the old Mopar cars. I mean, they had the beasts. They had all the big blocks. They had the V8s. Mopar old school was definitely the way to go. And I've thought about. I love. Kevin says his has got a voice. I'm trying to reread some of the comments to see. Oh, your car has a voice. I'm thinking that's what. Okay. Take care, Apple. We will see you later. Kia Soul, like I said, I think those are cool. I like really odd-looking cars, though. I'm really into goofy-looking cars, just because I like stuff that's different. But some people look at me like I'm weird because I do like stuff that's different. So you have that. Really? And Brick Sargent says he's from a Ford family but never driven one, and right now he's driving a Nissan Extra 2001. Those are pretty cool. I actually looked at one of those that were used last week. Those are a really nice looking truck. And they seem to be pretty durable from what I've seen. And that's what I thought. You said your truck is the one that has the voice, Kevin. As far as the new Ford trucks, I'm wanting one really badly, so I'm going to say they're good. I like the fact that they just come out, and correct me if I'm wrong on sizing, but on the new like F-250s, you can get, and I might be wrong on the size, but I thought it was a 6.2 liter V8. I was pretty impressed with that. I don't know the dependability factor of it, but you can get the 6.2 and it only be fuel. It doesn't have to be diesel anymore. So I'm pretty impressed with that, but I would love to see some more of those. But I mean, as far as trucks, if I'm going to buy a truck, I'm going to buy a Ford. I don't care really what it has. I'm going to buy a Ford truck. To me personally, I'll give you an example. Where I work at the airport, all of our fleet vehicles are Chevys, and I honestly hate them. In their their 1500, or no, they're 2500s and 3500s. And it's not because of their ride or anything, because to me, if I'm in a truck and I'm going for a ride in a truck, I want it to be stiff. I want it to be hard. I don't mind that bumpiness. I want a stiff suspension. I want a work truck. The problem that I have with the Chevys though is the cabs, the physical cabin space. To me, when I'm in a Chevy truck, I feel like I'm in a Ford Ranger. Whereas in a Ford truck, it's like forever. I can't really make any comparisons to any Chrysler trucks because I've never drove any of those. And again, because I get A plan, I always go Ford anyway. But just personal feel, cabin space. I prefer a Ford truck over a Chevy any day of the week. And that quite simply is my biggest reason. I just like the cab size and the way that it's laid out in a Ford better than a Chevy. I like that, Scott. He says he wants to get a black Kia Soul, then people will say, Scott, you have a black Soul. And yeah, actually it is, guys. I didn't even think of that. I need to rework the camera work. Yes, and yes, Brian. Trying to go back to some more of the comments. Bricklock, Illinois agrees. Ford, and that's awesome. The Brick Sergeant that it's still running like new for you. That's really good. Now, Greg, you said a Subaru. I would love to get a Subaru. I've always been a big fan of. I'm trying to remember what size they are, or it's the turbo, the blue one, WRX. Is the Subaru that I would love to get. Those are a fun. A friend of mine had one and I got to drive it, and oh man, is that a fun car to drive. I really like those Subarus. Another really cool thing about Subarus though is quite simply this. They're great for VWs because I was always a VW nut, and they are awesome for sand rails. They're also awesome for kit cars because with those motors you also have the ability to heat and cool the engine or the compartments of the car. And yes, we were, Mike. Thank you for pointing that out. And yes, I do agree that all vehicles, like Mr. Block said, all vehicles have their pros and cons. And like I said, a lot of it's just WRX, STI. Oh, those are freaking wicked. But yes, those are some fun cars. I always was puzzled by that, though, because it's a four-door sports car. I mean, because it is a wicked car, but it's a four-door. And it was always like, what the heck are you guys thinking making a four-door sports car? Mike says, can't tell all my secrets. Anyway, though, I actually was on here longer than Oh, Brian LeBlanc, thank you so much. He says, how do we go from talking about Lego to nipples to cars? Well, it's all related. They all plug into in each other in some manner and fashion. They're all related to using your hands. That's what it is. Because with Lego, you have to use your hands to put it together. Nipples for obvious reasons. Cars, you're driving them with your hands. So they're all related. They're all a very, very relatable topic. No, the WRXs are not a rotary engine. But they, like I said, though, they are perfect for putting, and I don't know who said that they were a rotary engine. The old Mazdas were the rotary engines. And I'm trying to remember which Mazda was it. Was it the Mazda RX-7, I think, that had the really good... Honestly, the rotary engines are really good, too, in the Mazdas. But no, the WRX, it's a horizontally opposed, like a Porsche or a VW, or a four-cylinder. And it is definitely the nature of the funny farm. Anyway, though, what I was going to say, though, is I've already been on here way longer than I intended. This was actually supposed to just be kind of a quick 30 to 45-minute test, and it's almost 9:30, so I need to get in bed. With that being said, I am going to try and run my beautiful bean footage, and let's see if that actually works. Absolutely, Brick Sergeant. And so far, it appears to be working. So I want to give a very special thank you to everybody that helped support the stream, starting with Brick Sergeant because he got the rainstorm going. Scott's Blocks, Ned B, Bricks, Anthony Perot, Dale. Holy crap, man, this is like movie credits. Greg Bissett, Brian LeBlanc, and oh, how did we get it? We got a. You were already a member, Kevin, or did it just renew or something? Anyway, though, it says we got a new member, Kevin, even though I know he was already in the membership. But again, very special thank you to everybody that helped or that supported the stream, and thanks. I'm actually surprised how many people actually came on here tonight. So thank you everybody for not totally forgetting about me while I took a little bit of a break. But anyway, like I said, I do have to end the stream here. So as always, thank you for coming to Bevan's Bricks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below. And hopefully, we'll see you guys all next time. Hopefully, very soon on Bevan's Bricks. And again, take care, Steve. And again,